Welcome to our deep dive into Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Mist and Fury.
Oh,
Get ready to explore a world of fairies,
it's one of my favorites.
magic, and intrigue as we uncover hidden powers,
Yeah.
face terrifying creatures, and witness Feyre's transformation from captive to a powerful force.
Really flips the script from A Court of Thorns and Roses, doesn't it? I mean, we're not just revisiting characters.
It does. In the beginning, we find Feyre,
We're really seeing them evolve in a whole new light.
a shadow of her former self,
Especially Feyre.
haunted by her time under the mountain.
Yeah.
She struggles to adapt to life in the spring court.
Mm-mm.
Remember those dark thoughts plaguing her?
Oh, yeah.
Murderer, butcher, monster, liar, deceiver. Maas doesn't hold back in
Very
showing
intense.
the depth of her trauma.
Yeah, it's a stark contrast to the Feyre we first met.
Right.
She's trapped in a gilded cage.
It's almost like she's become Tamlin's possession rather than his partner.
Exactly. And it really makes you think, like, how much damage can be done by love that seeks to protect but ends up suffocating.
It's heartbreaking to see how Tamlin's attempts at protection backfire.
It really is.
He isolates her, keeps her from her family, and stifles her spirit.
Yeah.
I felt this growing tension, like the air was slowly being sucked out of the room.
Uh-huh.
What are your thoughts on Tamlin's motivations?
Well, it's clear that Tamlin is deeply scarred by his own experiences with Amarantha,
Right.
but he's trying to shield Feyre in the only way he knows how.
Yeah,
But tragically, it's misguided.
I agree.
He doesn't see that Feyre needs freedom and agency to heal.
And that's where Rysand steps in. I'll admit my first impression of him was villain.
Sure.
But here he becomes this complex character
Totally.
who challenges Feyre and pushes her to grow.
I mean, the crucial difference is that Rysand doesn't force Feyre into anything.
Yeah,
He offers her a choice, a
Yeah.
bargain,
right.
and by making that choice to go with him to the Night Court, Feyre starts to reclaim her agency.
That scene where Rysand whisks her away from the spring court right before her wedding to Tamlin.
Oh, yeah.
What a turning point.
I know.
That moment signifies so much more than just a daring escape.
Exactly. It's about breaking free,
Right.
literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Feyre steps into the unknown, embraces the risk.
And takes control of her destiny.
Yeah. And what's fascinating is that the Night Court,
Mm,
despite its shadowy reputation,
right.
becomes this unexpected haven for her.
I loved how Maas flipped our expectations.
Yeah.
The Night Court, with its emphasis on freedom and individual growth,
Mm-hmm.
becomes the place where Feyre can finally breathe and explore her power
You can just be herself.
without judgment,
Yes.
especially Valeris,
Oh, Valaris.
Rysand's hidden city.
Such a powerful contrast to the restrictive beauty of the Spring Court.
Yes.
It represents Rysand's leadership,
Uh-huh.
a testament to the sacrifices made to protect it,
Mm-hmm.
a haven built on resilience.
Speaking of the Spring Court, let's talk about Tamlin.
Okay.
His character takes a pretty drastic turn from book 1 to book 2.
He does.
It's jarring to see him become so possessive and controlling.
It is a jarring shift,
Oh, yeah.
but I think it highlights the complexities of trauma and its impact on relationships.
Yeah.
You know, Tamlin's instinct is to control and protect,
Uh-huh.
while Feyre needs freedom and agency to heal and grow.
They become
Fundamentally incompatible.
Yeah, their needs are just completely different.
And then there's Lucien,
Oh, poor Lucien.
caught in the middle of this deteriorating relationship.
Right.
He sees what's happening, but is trapped between his loyalty to Tamlin and concern for Feyre.
Ugh, it's so tough.
Yeah.
Lucien's position is incredibly difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds us that even in these fantastical worlds,
Right.
friendship and loyalty can be complicated.
Yeah.
He can't fully support either side.
Yeah,
And ends up navigating a very messy situation.
absolutely.
Mm.
Now we can't forget Rysand's inner circle. Oh, the inner circle.
Cassian, Asriel, Moore, and Amren.
What a crew.
What a crew. They become Feyre's mentors.
Yes.
Her confidants.
Found family.
Her found family.
Exactly.
And through their interactions,
Mm.
we see a different side of Rysand.
A softer side.
The vulnerability hidden beneath his mask of power.
Totally. And they help peel back those layers
Yeah.
and reveal the burdens he carries,
Right.
the sacrifices he's made to protect Valeris.
And speaking of Rysand,
Okay.
we can't ignore the whole mating bond situation.
Oh, the mating bond, a classic.
This concept is pretty central to this series.
Yeah.
So can you give us a little more context for those who might not be as familiar with it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the mating bond in this world It's more than just a romantic connection. It's a profound, soul-deep link.
Okay.
Almost like destiny.
Yeah.
And for Feyre, discovering this bond with Rysand forces her to confront her feelings for Tamlin and reevaluate everything she thought she knew about love. It throws her entire world into question.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've explored the characters a little bit, let's talk about the world itself.
Okay.
Maas really expands on Prythian in this book.
She does.
Giving us a deeper look into the different courts and the simmering tensions between them.
Yes.
The contrasting courts almost serve as a metaphor for the different ways that power can be wielded.
Absolutely.
The Spring Court, despite its outward beauty, represents a restrictive, controlling force.
Yeah.
The Night Court, while shrouded in darkness, offers freedom and encourages individual growth.
Yeah, I like that.
What are your thoughts on the Summer Court?
Oh, the Summer Court.
Which tries to remain neutral.
Well, I see them as representing a yearning for balance between these opposing forces.
Yeah.
You know, and with the looming threat of the King of Hybern, who is amassing power and plotting to break down the wall, separating the fairy realm from the mortal world.
That balance feels increasingly fragile.
It does.
The wall is a symbol of separation, of protection, but also of isolation.
Right.
Its potential destruction represents not just a physical threat, but also the potential for chaos and upheaval.
Right.
It makes you wonder.
It does.
What happens when the boundaries we rely on crumble? What happens when everything we thought was safe is threatened?
Oh, that's a good question.
What a great question to ponder.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect place to transition into the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We've laid the groundwork.
We have.
Explored the characters and the world. And now we're ready to delve into some of the most memorable moments and revelations.
Sounds good. So many memorable moments in this book.
Yeah, where do we even begin?
Well, one that stands out to me is Feyre's encounter with the Bone Carver.
Oh, yeah. Deep in that creepy prison.
In that prison accessible only to High Lords.
Right. A place even Rysand fears to tread.
Yeah, exactly.
The Bone Carver, this creature from another realm, offers Feyre cryptic insights into her powers and the looming war, foreshadowing the role she's destined to play.
Right. It's like he sees this potential within her that even she doesn't grasp yet.
Did you find his pronouncements helpful or just confusing?
I think a bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah.
The Bone Carver's pronouncements are intentionally cryptic, which definitely adds to the mystery and suspense.
Yeah.
But they also offer these glimpses into Feyre's true nature, hinting at her ability to wield both light and shadow. It's a power that will be essential in the coming conflict.
And that question he asks her.
Oh, yeah.
About how she chose to fight rather than fade into darkness.
Right.
That struck me as such a turning point.
It did for me, too.
It shows her resilience. Her refusal to give in, even when faced with unimaginable horror.
Exactly. It speaks to her inner strength.
Yeah.
Her will to survive, and it foreshadows her growing power, her ability to tap into those darker aspects of herself.
Without being consumed.
Without being consumed by them, exactly.
Speaking of dangerous quests.
Okay.
There's the mission to retrieve the Book of Breathings.
Oh, yeah. High-stakes treasure hunt with the fate of Prythian hanging in the balance.
Why is this book so important?
Well, the Book of Breathings holds the key to combating the cauldron's magic.
Right.
The cauldron, as you know, is an ancient and volatile source of power that can be used for both creation and destruction, the ultimate weapon.
Right.
And whoever controls it holds the fate of Prythian in their hands.
Yeah.
The book offers a way to neutralize that power. To prevent it from falling into the wrong hands.
And the mission itself is so thrilling.
Oh, I know.
Feyre and Rysand infiltrating the Weaver's cottage. That terrifying encounter with the Weaver herself.
And then, of course, the reveal of Rysand's true power.
Yes.
The lengths he'll go to protect those he cares about.
What did you make of that bargain he makes with the Weaver?
His willingness to sacrifice his own bones upon his death.
Yeah, to protect Feyre.
I mean, it's a testament to his commitment, his depth of feeling.
Yeah.
You know, it also shows just how complex his character is.
Yeah.
He's not just a powerful High Lord.
Right.
He's capable of immense selflessness.
Right.
And sacrifice.
Okay, but let's not forget about the Weaver herself.
Oh, yeah, she is the stuff of nightmares.
What do you think she represents within the story?
Well, I think she embodies fear,
Okay.
manipulation, and this twisted predatory hunger.
Right.
Her cottage,
Yeah.
despite its outward appearance of peace and safety,
Uh-huh.
is a trap, a cage.
Yeah.
She preys on Feyre's vulnerabilities,
Mm-hmm.
her trauma, in a way that's just truly chilling.
I agree. It's like she embodies the darkest aspects of the fairy world, the danger that lurks beneath the surface of all that beauty and enchantment.
Right, and the fact that Feyre, despite her terror,
Right.
manages to outsmart the Weaver
Yeah.
and escape. Well, it speaks volumes about her growing strength.
Her cunning.
Yeah, and cunning, exactly.
And then there's that incredibly charged moment when Feyre touches Rysand's mind.
Oh, yeah.
We finally get a glimpse behind the walls he's built around himself.
That's right.
And it changes everything.
It does.
What did you think of that scene?
Oh, it's pivotal for their relationship.
Yeah.
Feyre, in a moment of desperation, breaches Rysand's mental defenses, and she sees the pain, the vulnerability,
suffering,
the centuries of suffering he's been hiding.
Yeah.
And what does she find?
Yeah.
A high lord who's been through hell and back, who's made unimaginable sacrifices to protect his people.
That scene where he describes how he kept Valaris hidden from Amarantha
Oh my gosh.
broke my heart.
I know.
We see the depth of his commitment, his unwavering loyalty,
Yeah.
and the heavy burdens that he carries.
It humanizes him, doesn't it?
It does.
It reveals the man beneath the mask, the wounded heart beneath the armor, and it allows Feyre to see him in a new light,
Right.
to understand the weight of his responsibilities.
Yeah. After that encounter, their whole dynamic shifts.
It does.
Go from captor and captive to allies,
Yeah.
partners,
Partners in crime.
and eventually,
Well, we all know where it leads.
we all know where it leads.
But even before the romantic aspect fully develops,
Right.
there's this foundation of trust and respect that starts to build.
I agree.
Yeah, their relationship is built on shared experiences, a deep understanding of each other's vulnerabilities.
Right.
They see each other's darkness and their light.
Right.
And it's that shared understanding that forms the basis for their connection.
And their journey to the summer court
Oh, yeah.
adds another layer of intrigue.
It does.
We meet Tarquin,
Uh-huh.
the High Lord of Summer,
Yes.
who is charming and kind and well,
And quite smitten with Feyre.
quite smitten with Feyre.
He is.
What did you think of Tarquin?
You know, I thought he represented a different kind of leadership.
Wow.
He's more open,
Yeah.
more progressive than the other High Lords. He believes in equality between High Fae and lesser fairies.
Which is pretty radical.
Which is a very radical notion in Prythian.
Yeah.
And his genuine kindness towards Feyre, his respect for her,
creates some interesting tension.
creates some tension with Rysand.
Remember that scene where Rysand admits to being jealous?
Oh, yeah,
It's such a human moment for him.
it is.
A reminder that even the most powerful fairies
Yes.
are vulnerable to love and insecurity.
It's a good reminder that beneath all the power and bravado,
Yeah.
he's falling for Feyre, and he's afraid of losing her.
And it speaks to the depth of his feelings.
You could tell.
He's not just possessive.
Right.
He's genuinely afraid of being hurt.
Yeah, that vulnerability makes him so much more relatable.
It does.
Okay.
So we've talked about the Bone Carver, the Book of Breathings, the Weaver, the Summer Court.
Okay.
But there's one more pivotal event I want to discuss before we move on to the climax.
All right.
The confrontation at the Court of Nightmares.
Ah, yes. That's a turning point for Feyre's reputation within the Night Court.
It is.
You know, she's been training,
Uh-huh.
honing her powers,
Right.
but she's still seen as an outsider by many. And then comes this confrontation with Kier,
Right.
the cruel
And manipulative.
and manipulative High Lord of the Court of Nightmares.
That scene is so intense.
It is.
Kier tries to humiliate Feyre, to expose her as a weakling,
Right.
but Rysand steps in and unleashes his full power.
Oh, he does.
It's a display of dominance,
Yeah,
a message to anyone who dares to threaten those under his protection.
absolutely.
What's interesting is how Feyre reacts.
Yeah, how does she react?
There's no fear,
Uh.
no judgment.
Right.
There's understanding,
Yeah.
a recognition of the necessity of his actions in a world where power is everything. It really shows how she's changing,
It does.
how she's adapting to this new world,
Yeah,
this new understanding of power.
I like that.
That moment at the Court of Nightmares really solidified Feyre's position within the Night Court.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But as we head into the final act of the book,
Uh-huh.
the stakes get even higher.
They do.
We left off with Feyre, Rysand, and their crew infiltrating Hybern's fortress
Right.
to retrieve the cauldron.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of Rysand's plan?
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a testament to his strategic thinking. They not only need to steal the cauldron, but they need to do it without alerting Hybern.
Right.
A near impossible feat.
Yeah.
Given the fortress's defenses, his ability to anticipate threats and coordinate such a complex operation is remarkable.
And Feyre's role in the plan is crucial.
Oh, absolutely.
She uses her connection to the cauldron, that echo of its power within her, to remain undetected.
It's a risky move, but it pays off.
It does.
It's another example of Feyre's growing understanding of her own powers. She's not just wielding brute force.
Right.
She's manipulating energy.
Yeah.
Becoming one with the very magic she's trying to steal.
It highlights her adaptability and her growing confidence.
For sure,
Yeah.
but even with their meticulous planning,
Yeah,
things take a dark turn.
they do.
The betrayal of Tamlin.
It's devastating.
It really is a devastating blow.
He's not just aligning himself with Hybern.
Right?
He's actively working against Feyre,
Yeah.
seeking to use the cauldron to control her.
To strip her of her agency.
Did you see this betrayal coming?
You know, it's heartbreaking to see.
Yeah.
But Tamlin's actions, though misguided,
Yeah.
are driven by his warped sense of love and protection.
Right.
He's convinced that Feyre is being manipulated by Rysand,
Okay.
that she's in danger,
Yeah.
but in his desperation to save her,
Right.
he becomes the very thing he fears most,
Yeah.
a controlling, oppressive force.
Yeah.
That moment when he arrives at the fortress with Hybern,
Oh, yeah.
and Feyre realizes the depth of his betrayal.
I know.
It's a gut punch.
Yeah, it is.
It makes you question everything you thought you knew about him.
Absolutely. And it highlights the destructive nature of possessiveness disguised as love. Tamlin's inability to let go,
Yeah.
to trust Feyre's choices, ultimately leads him down a dark path.
And then there's the shocking reveal
Oh, yeah.
that Jurian, the legendary warrior presumed dead,
Right.
is alive
Alive.
and working for Hybern.
What a twist.
What a twist.
Jurian's resurrection really showcases Hybern's manipulative power.
Right.
He's not just brute force. He's
Yeah.
a master strategist, a manipulator who preys on the vulnerabilities of others.
Yeah.
Jurian, consumed by guilt and despair,
Right.
becomes a pawn in Hybern's game.
That scene where the cauldron is removed from the fortress
Yes.
and Feyre is overwhelmed by its power.
Yeah.
It's so visceral.
Yeah.
I could feel the raw energy radiating from the pages.
It's intense.
What do you think Maas was trying to convey in that moment?
I think she was emphasizing the sheer volatility of the cauldron.
Okay.
The immense power it holds. It's a force of nature,
Right.
capable of both creation and destruction.
Yeah.
Even Feyre, with her connection to it,
Right.
can barely contain its energy.
Right.
It's a reminder that some forces are too powerful to be fully controlled.
And then comes the ultimate betrayal.
Oh, man.
Tamlin delivering Feyre and her sisters to Hybern,
Ugh.
sealing their fate.
It's a culmination of all the manipulations and broken promises
That is.
that have led up to this point.
That moment truly is devastating.
It is.
It's a crushing blow for Feyre.
Yeah.
A moment of absolute despair.
Right.
But even in the face of such darkness, she finds a way to fight back.
She does.
Remember her fierce declaration to Tamlin?
Oh, yeah.
If you bring me from here, if you take me from my mate, I will destroy you.
Chills. Literal chills.
It demonstrates Feyre's unwavering strength. Her refusal to be a victim, she's been betrayed, broken,
Right.
but her spirit remains unbroken.
Exactly. And it sets the stage for the next part of her journey.
Yeah.
Her fight for survival
Right.
and her eventual rise against those who have wronged her.
But before that,
Yeah.
we have that heart-wrenching scene where Feyre is forced to ask the king to break the mating bond
Oh my God.
between her and Rysand.
I know.
It's a sacrifice
Yes.
that underscores the depth of her love for her sisters.
That scene is so powerful.
It is.
Feyre, in a moment of desperation,
Yeah.
sacrifices the deepest connection she's ever known
Right.
to protect her family.
And the fact that Rysand,
Yeah.
despite his own agony,
Right.
understands and supports her decision.
My heart.
It speaks volumes about the strength of their bond,
It does.
their unwavering love and respect for
Yeah.
one another.
Yeah, it's a testament to the power of selfless love.
Now, we end this book with Feyre and her sisters imprisoned in the Spring Court,
Right back where we started.
guarded by those who were once her friends.
It's a stark contrast to the freedom she found in Velaris.
Yeah. Did you find this ending to be hopeful or bleak?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
It's certainly a bleak situation.
Yeah.
But Feyre's spirit remains unbroken. The Spring Court, once a place of beauty and sanctuary, has become a prison.
Right.
A reflection of Tamlin's own descent into darkness.
Yeah.
But Feyre's imprisonment doesn't diminish her strength or her determination.
And we know that Rysand and his inner circle are working tirelessly to free her.
Yeah, the ending definitely leaves us on a cliffhanger.
It does.
With so many questions unanswered.
Yeah.
But it also reminds us that the battle is far from over.
Right.
The forces of darkness may have gained a temporary advantage, but Feyre and Rysand are not ones to give up easily.
And that's what makes this book so compelling.
It is.
It's a story of transformation, resilience,
Yeah.
and the enduring power of love and loyalty.
Love and loyalty.
It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, hope flickers.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And that's it for our deep dive into A Court of Mist and Fury.
Wow, what a ride.
We hope you enjoyed exploring this world of fairies, magic, and intrigue.
It's so good.
And remember, the journey doesn't end here.
Of course not.
There's an entire series waiting to be discovered.
Exactly.
So pick up the next book and see where Feyre's path leads.
I can't wait.
We guarantee you won't be disappointed.